as you can see, at the hospital. Mission baby, almost here. That's why we had to skip the live stream this week, but some pre-recorded content for you guys, so bear with us this week. And I would say celebrate with us because it's some good content. We've been having these interviews for months now. Miss DSF, phenomenal conversation. Also David Cicilline. So we hit you with the international and also the local conversation. Very exciting, very exciting. But be sure to check them out fully. Great conversations. And yeah, let me get back to dad duty. But that's what happened. That's why, what happened with the live stream? I got some DMs. What happened? Baby is here. Look at my eyes, guys. I have not slept. I only slept 2 hours. Which I usually don't mind, but it's affected my appearance today. But there we have it. Love y'all. Welcome to the Club Ambition Podcast. Exclusive episode this week. We are getting international with it. We have a very special guest visiting Rhode Island, the smallest state in the country. And we were at the show where she shut shit down at Noir here in Providence, Rhode Island. And we tapped in with the team. Let's have a conversation in the studio. If you're new here, I'm Victor Baez. It's a Club Ambition Podcast. Shout out to also, we have co-host Noel in the building. And we got Wango making a special appearance as well today for today's episode. But without further ado, let's introduce the people. If you haven't known her, if you don't know her, a lot of you do know her. That's why you're watching. But we have Miss DSF in the building.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. You are a Nigerian actress, a DJ, presenter. Yes. You wear many, many, many hats.
Yes.
Right. Appreciate you visiting America. This is you had doing a 6th stop here in America during your tour, right? 6 stops.
This is the sixth stop. Yeah.
Okay, so after here, where are you going after America?
We go to Canada.
Okay.
And then we come back to America. So we have like a bunch of cities in Canada.
Nice.
And then we come back to the States.
Nice.
Yeah.
And for the people out there, right? You go by Miss DSF, but give the people your full name. You know what I'm saying?
You know,
the government's watching.
Trying to put me out like that?
The feds are watching. We gotta.
Feds is watching. No,
you know what I'm saying?
People know it anyway. It's Dorcas.
Shola.
Babson. You said that pretty good.
Yeah,
but
Dorcas.
it's Olu Shola, but Shola.
So Dorcas. Because Dorcas, there's a lot of Dominicans named Dorcas. I got a couple aunts named Dorcas. Yeah.
Really? Wow, you just auntified my name, and people always give me that. That's why I always say that my name is such an old person's name.
It's fire though, Dorcas.
Okay.
You can always trust a Dorcas.
It's biblical.
Yeah. So what does it mean, Dorcas?
It's from the Book of Acts. It was a lady in the Bible that did a lot of good, and when she died, a lot of people were upset, and Jesus went to visit her and bring her back to life.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
Very important. Matches the personality.
Thank you.
So we got the name out the way, but how does the actual Miss DSF, where did that come from? When did that start? That nickname or that term, that personality?
DSF, literally just from my name. Like, I just wanted something short and to the point, and, you know, D for Dorcas, S for Shola, F for Fabs.
Yeah.
DSF.
When did they start doing? Was it always a thing, a part of your career?
From as long as I can remember, yeah. Do you know what it is? Yeah, I feel like a lot of people that know me from acting will call me Dorcas. But then if they know me from DJing, they call me DSF.
Yes.
So it's like two different people, but in one.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
That makes sense. And you wear many hats, but when did you start doing either one of them? Like, what was the first passion? Was it acting? Was it like, were you DJing as a toddler? Like, what was the?
Acting. Acting's is still my first love.
Yes.
So I started as an actress, and that's where I started getting popular from.
At what age did you start as an actress?
As soon as I finished uni, so when I was like 21.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't do anything acting related in school. Parents obviously didn't want me to do anything entertainment. So as soon as I got my degree, I was like, yeah, I got my degree. I'm going to do what I want to do now.
Yeah.
And I started acting. I moved to New York, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I moved to New York, and I in my mind, I just thought that as soon as I moved to New York, I'm going to be in the next Hollywood film, and I was just going to blow from there. And then God was like, relax. And then I got this role in Nigeria, and they flew me out from New York to Nigeria, and that's where I started. That's how I got into like Nollywood. I had no plans to get into Nigeria or anything. I actually really didn't even like Nigeria, to be honest, because I'd only been there twice before I started acting there. So, yeah, when I got that job, then I flew out there.
And you said uni, right? So uni, so there's the London things.
Yeah, so you guys call it, what do you, college?
Born and raised in London?
Yes.
Born and raised in London?
Yeah.
Wow. So you both parents from London?
No. They are fresh, so they moved over. They're the first.
From Nigeria to London?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But college. College.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, uni's fire. It's like a short, university.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People, they should know when you mean when you say that, unless they think you mean uniform. But I doubt that's happening. And so similar to, I would assume, I've always heard stories similar to the Caribbean parents of mine. Parents are very tough on when it comes to this new age of careers, right? Like what you're doing right now. Even traditionally, as an actress, might be looked down upon in some cultures. Were your parents that way, as Nigerian
100%.
parents, from the beginning of your career?
100%. My dad was the first thing when I said I wanted to do acting. No, you're not going to make money. You must be a doctor, a lawyer. What will I tell my friends? They want bragging rights. You need to be a doctor, a lawyer, all those serious roles. Nothing wrong with them, but, and that's why I went to college, and I did my degree in criminology because I felt like, okay, cool. Since they're saying I'm not going to make money from this acting stuff that I want to do, let me have a backup. So I always love like criminal law and like crime. Like I love all the crime documentaries and stuff. So I did criminology.
Yeah.
But I'm not serious enough to be a lawyer. I might start laughing in court. I might, I'm just not serious enough to pursue that. So I was just like, yeah, okay, no. And when I finished, I was grown. So I just decided to go with my passion.
Wow. And what was that point, or have you even reached that point where they went from questioning what you're doing to now fully supporting?
Oh, yeah, no. Now my dad is like my biggest cheerleader. Like now I go on tour. Even if you open my WhatsApp now, you'll see all my tour days on my dad's WhatsApp picture. Like he says broadcast. Like anytime I'm in a movie or like I'm in America or I'm just anywhere. He's
very proud.
Proud. Like he's the number one.
That's amazing.
Literally a cheerleader.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And then, so going forward from one passion to the other, what was your introduction from acting to the DJ world
music.
now?
So I love music, all types of music, every genre. I love music. Can't sing, wish I could. What's the next best thing? DJing. So it was before lockdown, just before we went into lockdown, 2019, end of 2019, and I always wanted to learn how to DJ, and I just never had the patience or I just wasn't ready to sit down and learn it, but I just knew in the back of my mind I wanted to learn it. Yeah. And then I just ordered everything, like all the equipment one day, and I was just like, okay, I've spent money now, so I really have to learn how to do this thing. And then as God would have it, we went into lockdown. So during that lockdown is when I really learned how to DJ, learned what my BPM was, learned how to, downloaded everything. Serato got a new laptop, everything, literally did everything from there. And then when we came out of lockdown, while we were in lockdown, actually, I used to do these little lives, Instagram lives, I'll DJ and I'll stand on my couch and I'll have my goddaughter there, she'll be the hype girl. And I would have these little parties. So then when we came out of lockdown, I started getting booked in different places, and then it just really picked up from there.
So 2020, 2021?
Yeah, so I started just before we went into lockdown. Then when we went into lockdown, I was, getting it. Wow. Then when we came out, it was, get me lit, baby.
Yeah. And then, so that's one of your slogans, correct? Yeah. And was that something that fans created, or was it something that you just started doing yourself?
It was a bunch of us. So a bunch of me and my friends in Lagos, we'll go out and we'll be like, yeah, all right, let's get lit. Get me lit. Give me a shot. Get me lit.
Get me lit.
And it just kind of, every time people see me now, it's like, get me lit. I'm like, yeah. Even when I'm tired, I'll be like, get me lit. I'll be forcing myself to get lit.
I wanted some Get Me Lit merch. I saw last night you guys had the mug. I thought you were going to bring some mugs in today.
We're going some Get Me Lit.
We need some Get MeLit merch.
We got you.
We got to grab some after this.
We get you.
Gotta get us. We gotta get lit.
I got you.
So, what would you say out of everything when you're out and about? Let's say in London, what do people recognize you for the most? What's that one thing?
Now it's DJing.
DJing.
Before it was acting, but I feel like I do a lot more DJing now. Because with acting, it's like you have to wait for people to. You might do 100 auditions and get one.
Yes.
So it's very tedious. It's very draining. It's very you get literally. with DJing, I can create my own schedule. I can say, okay, yeah, I want to do this booking. I can, DJ wherever. So.
All right, so we have a quick word from our sponsor. We have Aiden here from Dave's Hot Chicken, located in Middletown, Rhode Island. He is here because we have a special surprise this week. Aiden, I'm hearing in the streets that there's something regarding an ugly sweater.
Yes, sir. So you can put that ugly Christmas sweater to use on Christmas Eve. Stop into the store. You'll get a free slider.
Okay.
Yep.
So can you just tell the fans what are the hours? Because I know obviously it's Christmas time. You have different holiday hours. And where they can, in fact, locate you in Middletown.
Yes, sir. So it's going to be 619 West Main Road in Middletown, Rhode Island. And we're going to be opening up until 10:30 to 6. So, and then Christmas Day, we're going to be shut down.
Okay, that's perfect. Yeah. So you heard it here first. 10:30 to 6, Middletown, Rhode Island, Christmas Eve. If you want the opportunity to win a free slider, make sure you're wearing that ugly sweater. We also have another big surprise because we love you guys here at the Cap community so much. We're actually going to be doing a raffle. We're going to be raffling off $500 gift cards to Dave's Hot Chicken. Aiden has it right there for you so you see what it looks like. And if you want to participate in this raffle, you have to do a few things for us. So first, you have to follow Dave Hot's Chicken on Instagram. You have to follow the Club Ambition podcast Instagram. You also have to subscribe to Club Ambition on YouTube, and you need to make sure that you leave a comment down in this video. You have until January to do so. That gives you 2 weeks because we will be announcing all 5 winners in January.
Keep an eye out. Early January, we're going to be implementing some new items, and that it's going to be going strong all through the year. So
Okay.
Always keep an eye out. Come visit us.
Thank you so much. Aiden is a member of the CAP community, just like all of you are. I want to thank you, Aiden, for coming down. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year's.
Thank you very much.
No
Merry
problem.
Christmas to you guys.
And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's to the CAP crew. Back to the show.
It's more, I do more of that.
Well, you would say your favorite thing still is acting overall, or no? Right now in your career?
I hate when people ask me this because I hate to choose. I love both of them. I really, really do. Like, I really enjoy. I didn't get into DJing because of the money or the clout I really genuinely love music. Like, I really feel it in my soul. Like, different music, different genres, different moods. Like, I really, really like it. So it's just a blessing that it's taken off in the way that it has.
No, it's amazing. And the crazy part about it is, like, you're on tour right now for DJing, but right now if people look you up, right, you're on Netflix, in America at least. I know Netflix is different in different countries, but when you look yourself up on Netflix, you're already on 2 things on Netflix. You're on the Castle and Castle show on Netflix. When people look you up, right, they can watch that today. The Man of God movie, right? You're in there as well, right? And also on Amazon Prime in America, you can check her out on Soft Love movie, which is more of a recent thing, or maybe the most recent thing, I believe.
No,
you don't know?
The most recent is Life and Dirt. That's on Amazon as well, actually.
Okay, okay. And most notably, people know you from the MTV show Sugar, right? 3 seasons, right? What is your favorite piece of work that you've acted in, though? So you've done so much already.
That's a good question. My favorite piece, maybe MTV Sugar, because that was when I first, I didn't know anything about the industry. That's where I first came out, and I was just so...
That was like 2009?
Yeah.
Wow.
2009. I was a baby. I was fresh out of uni.
Yeah.
My first ever job. I was just very raw and very. Very raw, very.
And to this day, people talk about it because it gets relicensed, it gets picked up again. People rewatch it. You know, there's clips that go viral on social media.
So today, people call me Sophie, and I'm like, that's not my name. It's not my name. But it's okay. I love it still.
What was your favorite part about playing that character? And bring us back to that time, right? Because it was a character where you started a show. A lot of people don't even get that opportunity, but then you get 3 seasons out of it, right? So talk about that, from being introduced. This is the character you're gonna play, and then you're on season 3. What was that journey as that character?
Honestly, it was a lot of fun because it was filmed in, like I said, I flew from New York to Nigeria, and that was my second time going to Nigeria. So it was new territory for me. So just even filming and working with Nigerians, it was completely foreign to me. So just doing that and getting into my character's mindset, becoming my character. It was a lot, but it was fun.
Describe your character for those who haven't seen the show.
So my character was a uni babe, a college babe, sorry, that did runs. So how will I use the English to say what runs is? Runs is basically sleeping with men for money, right? So that she would sleep with her lecturer. She would do anything.
Yes.
She had all these big men that funded her lifestyle, right? But deep down, that wasn't what she had a younger sister. She used to take care of her sister. The whole show in general was about HIV awareness. One of the sugar daddies that she was sleeping with had HIV.
Wow.
And she didn't end up catching it. So my character didn't end up catching it. But it was just about educating people on how you can catch it, the dangers you're putting yourself in. It was more about raising awareness about HIV. And
it had a deep meaning.
Yeah.
A deep meaning behind it.
Yeah, there were different characters. My younger sister had HIV, I believe. Am I remembering right?
On the show?
Yeah, on the show.
Okay.
I bagel. No, in real life,
Yeah,
I bagel.
God bless.
No, on
we
the
wouldn't
show.
judge it regardless.
Yeah.
You know.
No,
I'm just
yes,
saying.
we would. It's actually not a death sentence, and it was just about educating people on how people live healthy, happy lives
100%.
with HIV.
Yeah.
It doesn't. People with HIV, anybody in this room could have it, and you won't even know.
I think two people might.
You
You
never know, and that's okay.
Statistically,
it's okay. Like it's
I think it's 2 out of 10, whatever.
Right,
it might be happening.
It's not the death. It's not a death penalty. Like people still live it. They just have to take their drugs every day.
100%.
And people live healthy lives. You can have kids. You can sleep with your partner. Like it's not a death sentence. And I think the show was just about educating people on that.
That's beautiful how you were part of something that was also, had a deeper meaning than just entertainment.
Yeah, shout out to the MTV Staying Alive Foundation. They were,
So that was MTV Nigeria?
No, so MTV UK. So
UK.
actually, you remember I said I flew in for...
Okay.
So they held auditions in the UK.
Oh, okay.
So my agent in the UK told me about the audition, and I made a video recording. Then I flew out.
Wow.
But then the whole production was like MTV from South Africa. They flew in all the South African team. And that was...
Wow. And then that was your first introduction to doing work in Africa,
yes.
right? On
yes,
on
that was
TV.
the first time I went to Africa. I swore with everything that I would never set foot in Africa again. But that was my...
Wow. And then that was, you mentioned earlier also Nollywood?
Yes.
Nollywood. So give people a bit of a background here in America who don't understand what Nollywood is, because now you're one of the actresses with a career there.
Nollywood is basically Nigerian Hollywood. So I think it's the third biggest industry in the world, if I'm correct. So it's Hollywood, Bollywood, then Nollywood.
Wow.
So we doing our big one.
I didn't even know it was that big.
Yeah,
wow.
it's very big. We have some of the most creative, best directors, actors, producers. Like, it's insane.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're on Netflix. We're on Amazon.
Everywhere.
We're everywhere. We're trying.
Wow.
Yeah.
And do you see yourself creating anything yourself, a piece of art when it comes to maybe film, maybe script writing, maybe a series that you want to do? I know you said you love DJing, right? But your main passion also is acting, but you have them both equally sometimes. Maybe you can combine both. Maybe do like your own series of, Nigerian DJ that travels the world. Something, your life.
I like
that.
that.
Could be pretty cool. You know what I'm saying?
I have to
We said it here first.
Executive producer of my new show.
Listen, I think I have a script on the third page already drafted up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But aside from that, right, you're currently on tour, traveling across the world, right? You're here in America, 6 days in America on your tour, and we appreciate you stopping by during your time here in America, here in Rhode Island. But what has been, in your opinion, the biggest cultural difference that you've seen across everything? Because you're already multicultural, right? You have the Nigerian background, the London, UK, now you're in America. What has been that biggest cultural difference you've seen so far?
Let me think. Cultural difference. I feel like everywhere, even in America, just in America, going to New York, then going to Miami, then going to, there's huge cultural differences, even just in America. So for me, even coming from London or Lagos, it's like a huge, like I said, I don't really see Dominicans in the UK.
Yeah.
We had a conversation off camera.
Talk about it, yeah.
And whereas here, it's like so popular. Like there's restaurants, there's a lot of you guys here. There's, it's a different environment to what it is in the UK. Obviously because of the distance and, people come from DR and all over to settle here. So in the UK, it's more like Nigerians, Ghanaians, like we just, the flight is just like 6 hours. So it's not that far. So a lot of people come and settle there. But culture difference, I feel like we're all kind of the same. Like we're just in different fonts. Like, how you were playing me the DR music is kind of like giving Afrobeats kind
100%.
of. Yeah, it's just different fonts.
100%, especially with the reggaeton background, the Jamaican reggae foundation. And you have an amazing accent, right? Your accent stands out instantly when you see yourself in person. People meet you and interact with you.
Thank you.
Do you have Do you think you only have one accent? I know some people sometimes have like a. You can switch it up.
I can switch it up.
You can switch it up.
Like, I'm gonna sound like I'm from Atlanta.
Hold up.
Hold on, like
Hold
not
up.
too much. Like yeah.
That was pretty accurate
It's
right there.
pretty good.
That was pretty
You
good.
Like
That was
you
pretty
like my
good.
Voice?
That was pretty
It's
good. You literally sound like Sexy Red real quick.
Period.
I had a quick flashback.
I know that's right.
So, what would you think is the worst accent? Like, what's your least favorite accent that you experienced? Because you've probably
In America or
just
anywhere?
traveling, because you meet people every day. You know, America too.
In America, what's Glorilla's accent? What is it? I can't even do it. Like, how does
It's probably better than you.
I really can't. How is it? What is it?
She'd be like,
Yeah, I'm like, what? Yeah, bro, it don't mercy. Is this English? Like, what are you saying? I'm sorry. I love you though. I love her down. I love her.
yeah, no, that accent is one that it takes a while to get used to.
Yeah, I
know?
just couldn't the first time I was like, what is this English? Like,
Yeah.
what are you saying? Like,
Yeah. Last night you shut down, right? You had an amazing performance. You shut down
Thank
Rhode
you.
Island, small state in the country. What was your experience like here visiting Rhode Island so far?
It's been cute. I didn't realize it was so small. Like
Yeah.
I didn't know it was like all driving. Like it's really small.
Yeah, very small.
It's been nice meeting different people, meeting you guys.
Thank you.
Meeting the fans in Rhode Island. It's been really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it as you were performing, right? I'm looking at you and I'm like, I always wondered, I always ask every DJ that gets to meet, like, how do you specifically pick your set list, right? You're going to another city tonight. Yeah. Do you switch it up or do you keep it one consistent one?
No, I switch it up. So I would typically ask the promoter, like, oh, what's the vibe? Like, who all in there? Like, who is it? Like, is it like more Haitians? Is it more Nigerians? Is it more Ghanaians?
Okay.
And I kind of try and, throw in a few things that will
That's amazing.
win them over.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, you won us over last night. Everyone was like, oh my God, what's going on here?
you.
You know what I'm saying? And then that idea of, did someone ever tell you, because we talk about all the time, like, I feel like it's a genius concept, a beautiful woman being a DJ, but one that's skilled, right? Because I feel like as far as entertainment goes, that's someone that has a lot of marketability. She can make a lot of money. It's something that is just a genius concept. Did someone tell you prior to, like, yo, it would be a good idea for you to do it even just as a career, like even if you weren't thinking of it as one?
No one. I feel like when I first fell in love with it, I don't feel like there was a lot of females.
Yeah.
I feel like post like 2021, 22, a lot of females started coming out. But when I first like got my laptop and my controller and everything, I just did it because I enjoy music.
Yeah.
It was never about, oh, I'm a pretty face and I need to win people over. It was never about that. It's never really been, it's always been about the music for me. It's just a blessing. It's an add-on. I don't know. I'm not mad at it. Yes. But me, I'm cute. But it's
an advantage.
It's an advantage.
It's an advantage when you got a DJ and you look over and she's beautiful to look at and you're doing your thing with your tongue and sometimes it's like, oh man. And you do like a little twerk. It's not like a crazy twerk. It's like a respectful twerk. It's like, oh wow, okay.
Classy twerk.
It's tasteful. It's very tasteful. So I was watching that. I'm like, wow, she's really got this down packed.
Thank you.
You know, and I just think it's a genius concept. And right now, arguably, one can argue you're one of the most famous female DJs right now worldwide right now, especially when it comes to popularity. I think you definitely have that stamped. It's like it's.
Thank you. We're
it's
trying. There's a lot of females coming up. A lot of great females that are out at the moment and are doing their thing. So it's nice. It's nice.
And one of the biggest debates that people have online, especially the people that are just uneducated on the topic, but people, and I would love to get your opinion on this, right? You being Nigerian, from London, being a DJ, and a female, you check off so many boxes that your opinion really matters in this to me. So what would you say is the difference between Afrobeat, Afrofusion, dancehall, Amapiano? Am I even pronouncing that correctly?
Amapiano,
Amapiano, I did it right? Okay, thank God. Afropiano. Break it down to the people, like, the differences in them, because so many people categorize it all together. There's debates online. You know, they confuse artists for this genre. Afro rave.
So like Amapiano is more South
Let's start with that. Wait, Amapiano.
Amapiano is more South African.
Okay.
It's the they don't necessarily don't have lyrics.
Yes.
They have more beats, more vibes. You just have to dance. You just have to let loose and just dance. That's Amapiano. Afro beats is more you have more lyrics. It's more, talking drums, the wah, wah, dun, 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 like more of that. Afro piano is like the fusion between the two, like African and piano. So it's like the beats and the drum. You might have some lyrics.
How would you sound that out? Because you're doing the.
Damn, what's a good example? Like what's a good example? Afro. Oh, is that that? Yeah, Casey's or Japiano. Oh, I would say more like Davido's Champion song. You know, like that. That's a perfect example of like a cross between Afro piano. What else did you say? Jamaican music.
Afrofusion. Afrofusion.
Afrofusion is more like a fusion of African music, right?
Yeah.
What else did you say?
And also, dancehall. Do dancehall.
Dancehall is Caribbean, Jamaican predominantly.
Yeah.
Is there? Can I swear?
You can say whatever you want.
Bumba clap, pussy clap. Come here, girl. Make everybody say. You know what's funny? I saw this TikTok the other day, and this guy was like, "Oh, I'm gonna stop the music." Did you see that? I'm gonna stop the music if I hear a curse word in a Jamaican stop. And he played the beat for like 3 seconds. Then literally the first,
right away.
Yeah, he had to stop it because it was, well, come here, yeah, you know, tight pussy girl, calm down yourself, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if in Jamaica if like the radio stations are just purely uncensored because you can't censor that shit.
Exactly.
That's just crazy.
It's literally, but that's the culture.
Yeah,
like,
it's the culture.
That's the daggering is their culture. You know, backshot, and you know, it's just.
Yeah.
That's how you know it is.
Yeah.
It's just
100%. What's your favorite out of all of them if you had to pick one?
I have to say Afrobeat. I'm an African babe now, Nigeria babe. But I love all of them. I love Afropiano, Amapiano, Afrobeats, dancehall. Like I really, really do. I grew up on dancehall actually. So when I was younger, I didn't really listen to Afrobeats like that.
Really?
I grew up more on dancehall, like the Vibes Cartels, the Popcorn, the Spice, all of that. Like, in London, we're very, very big on dancehall.
Wow.
100%.
And since you love Afrobeats, your favorite, what are the top 3 Afrobeats artists of all time?
You want to set me up for dragging. You want them to drag. Do you know what is dragging?
It could change today. It could change tomorrow, next month, but today.
Can I say top 5?
Oh, I was trying to save you. I was trying to give you. Trying to give you less. You know what I'm saying? But let's do top 5. Top 5, and it's gotta be in order.
Let's do no particular order.
No order. We gotta do number 1 at least in order.
They're still gonna clip this and leave.
They're gonna
the one in order.
And they're gonna hang me. Like I can't do it in no particular order.
Not even the one. Who do you say is the number 1? If you had to just put one.
Who would you say is number 1?
Oh, you're the expert. You're the expert. You know
you don't have to be an expert to have a fave.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't try to be political with me. Honestly,
my answer is your answer. Let's do that.
Yeah,
we'll
politician.
do that. Yeah.
Okay, let's do this. No particular order. I say Brenna, Wiz, David, Rema, Ira.
Okay.
That last one
right now.
Okay.
I respect it.
Ashake.
That's why I said.
Wait, no, that was just, I was running. You see how I was running, and I just said.
You got to do it again.
Yeah, let me do it again. Okay. Brenna, David, Wiz, Ashake, Ira. Brenna, David, Wiz, Ashake, Ira.
Okay. So who she leave out?
So no Rema.
It's Rema.
No Rema.
No, I love Rema. I do.
I was like, something's missing.
I do really love Rema. Like he is top. Like, but if we're gonna hold a gun and say then that's the top 5. For me.
Yeah.
But Rema is.
Who would you argue is the biggest?
It won't set me for drag.
Every FC, they're gonna come in. Every FC is.
They're all the biggest. Everybody's the biggest in their own right. In their own right. Everybody's the biggest. Yes.
The PR training is on point.
Everybody's the biggest.
Yeah, because people always argue the Davido Burner. It's like a big debate, you know.
But I mean, they say David Burner Wiz, but Rema is part of that. You know, you can't leave Rema out. For the Gen Zs. Rema is.
Yeah, but he's
the
like
king
more younger
of,
though, right?
Yes.
He's more younger.
Yes, that's why I would say like okay, but for his set, there's no one touching Rema.
Yeah.
No one.
No, yeah, he's been on a tear for the past 2 years, especially out here. And have you ever thought of? Oh wait, actually, this is a great question to piggyback off of that one. What is that one artist that gets the biggest reaction when you're performing? You're a DJ. What's that one artist that no matter what, any party that you play, gets that biggest reaction from the crowd? That one artist.
Wiz.
Yeah.
Wiz,
Really?
yeah. Wiz.
Really?
Don't anything. Not when they hear
Really?
like but shit that one. Ask your everybody is crazy.
Really?
That album alone, timeless. Like
Okay.
that album is
Wow.
If you drop that, is gone.
No matter what.
Yeah.
It's a cheat code.
Yeah.
And will you ever release music yourself as a DJ? A lot of DJs, you know, shout out to Dominican Republic, a DJ Adoni, very famous DJ. He's now doing music with artists, right? Where he'll collaborate with the artists. And you look yourself up on streaming, you don't have music yourself. You do have a mix, especially on Apple Music. But have you ever thought about that? Releasing music yourself, collaborating with
100%.
maybe a WizKid, et cetera. These people that might be, you know, friendly with you, peers of yours, you know them through connections. Have you thought about this yet?
Yeah, I have. It's actually in the works. We're actually working on some stuff. Yeah.
Okay. What can you share at all from that? Right? And if anything, is there maybe a name you could say as someone that you're...
I can't say too much. I don't want to jinx anything. It's coming, Sha.
Okay.
We're working on it.
So a project.
Yes.
Project.
Definitely a project.
Okay. This year?
Not this year.
Not this year, next
but
year.
next year for sure.
Okay. Listen, we're excited for that. And whenever that happens, let us know. We'll do a reaction with you in the car. If we got to fly out to Nigeria, we'll make it happen.
Period.
London.
Yep.
We'll make it happen, however. And the timing of you being here is perfect, right? Because currently Drake is in London.
UK.
Yes, in
Which
London.
I'm so mad that I'm missing.
Yeah, Wireless Festival. Have you been to Wireless?
Yes.
Have you performed at Wireless?
No, and they actually called me to perform this year, but I was already on tour. I already planned my tour for, I'm so, I don't
Well, fuck
want
it,
to talk
because you
about
would have
it.
had been here then, so.
Yeah.
You know, it worked out in our favor.
You missed one hell of a concert.
I know, but I mean, at least I'm on the radar, so there's always next year.
Yeah. So right now, currently Drake, he is kind of following in the steps of Skepta, right? Skepta currently online is having this debate about UK rappers versus US rappers. And he's basically calling people out, making them have like these pretend battles and making people have the conversation. Drake last night on the topic said that London rappers are the best rappers in the world, right? What is your opinion about this? Do you agree with Drake being from London, you know, being a DJ in the mix, being more knowledgeable than the average listener? What is your take on this? Do you agree? Do you think that...
I wouldn't say the best rappers in the world, but you have some really good rappers, like the Central C's, the J Hustlers. Like, we have a lot of really good rappers. Skepta, like, we have a lot of good... I wouldn't say the best. Do you know what it is? I feel like a lot of people say, like, American rap is, like, mumble rap. Like, especially in this era, like, it's a lot of things we don't... like, you might say...
Yeah. Stereotypically, they might look down upon it.
Right.
Yes.
But I love that. I love, like... There's a few rappers that I really like.
Who's your favorite London rapper of all time? If you had to pick
all
one.
time.
Yeah. Are you like a Boy Better Know? Are you from that?
I love Boy Better Know.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of biased because they're from Tottenham as well. That's why I grew up in London. Yeah, so
hometown.
Skepta's from Tottenham. So, you know, from the ends. So I'm kind of biased on that. So yeah, like the Boy Better Knows.
Okay.
The Central C's, J Houses. Like, I love all of them.
Nice. My favorite's always been Skepta.
Yeah, Skepta's hard.
Especially because his aura, the way he just carries himself, it's just, you know,
Yeah.
it's just, I fuck with Skepta a lot. I've always loved Skepta. And also, you know, we talked about America a bit earlier, and I was hearing the conversations off camera yesterday. There was something about you not liking American food, right, or something like that nature.
Who said that?
I heard something like that. Allegedly.
I'm joking.
Why haven't you enjoyed it? That's not. It's a common thing though. A lot of people
I
that
don't
travel.
enjoy American food. I'm not gonna lie. Like, they took me to. I was in Philly, and the guy, our driver, was like, "We have to try a Philly cheesesteak," and he hyped this cheese. Like, I was so excited to eat this, and I was hungry. Like, we got the cheesesteak, and bro, it looked like it already been eaten. Like, it looked like it just wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't good. It was not good. It was.
But I got a question. Do you like British beans? Like, do you
Bro,
like
why
British
do you guys
food?
always think that we just eat beans? Like, it's not like...
Because that's all they post when they do the
but have
British
you had an
foods.
English breakfast before?
It looks like beans and like eggs.
Beans, eggs, sausage, hash brown. You guys have you had...
As you say,
I gotta try one day.
Yeah, try it. Like, it's actually nice compared to Philly cheesesteak. If you guys see the picture, it looked like dog food. I'm not even trying to lie.
God bless.
God, I'm so sorry.
If you had to pick, which African country do you believe has the best food out of all of them? Nigeria.
Nigeria.
It's simple.
I'm so sorry.
Name
Ghana is trying. They are fighting, but we're beating them.
What's one dish? Your favorite dish, the Nigerian dish that can like stand the test of someone like to prove that this is why.
Rice dish or like swallow, like
Whatever dish.
pounded yam and efo.
So what's that? Break it down to the people.
Pounded yam is basically like, do you know what fufu is?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, so like,
okay,
it's like powder that you pound, like, I don't know, yeah, and then efferu is like leaves. Which leaves is it?
Fried spinach.
Yes,
Fried
spinach.
spinach.
Yes, so spinach with like meat, like goat meat, beef, like.
yeah,
It's a nice blend.
Yeah.
You should try some. You guys ain't giving him no. But I mean, if we just
I
want to
might
be
have
like
had it, but I might not known the name.
But like jollof fries,
I
the
just eat
normal
whatever.
stuff, like those are good. Like those are like,
yeah,
those are mainstream. But if
you
you
gotta
want
try some Dominican food. We gotta get you
I
some
want to
Dominican
try
food.
some. I want to try the pasalita.
Padelitos.
Pasalito. Yeah. Gotta get some pasalito. I want
A
some
chimi,
chimi,
pastelito, and
pasalito,
chimi.
papi. Yeah.
And also when it comes to African countries, last night you said you had an ex from Ghana, right? Correct. You already, right?
Yo, this might be the messiest interview ever.
Listen.
Well, damn.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Or let's say allegedly. But when it comes to African countries, which African country do you believe has the most loyal men?
I don't think loyal and men and Africa should be in the same sentence.
Please.
No, I'm joking. Honestly, do you know, it's funny enough that my Ghanaian relationship was my longest relationship ever.
How long?
Great, 6 years.
Wow.
Great
bless.
person. Yeah, great person. Nothing bad to say about him. We were just on 2 different pages.
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But that's the best relationship I've had. As
Really?
for Nigerians, my brothers and sisters.
It's okay, please. It's okay.
You know what?
It's okay. Don't talk again.
Do you know what is atarodo? Do you know what is rodo?
Rodo? Ata?
No. Talen. Don't worry. Just it's a very hot pepper. Like, you know, like what's it called?
Habanero?
Habanero. Like, imagine eating like 10 of those at once in your mouth. Right? Just stuffing 10 habaneros and peppers into your mouth. That's what relationships with Nigerian men are.
God damn.
We need you to say that real quick. Atarodo.
Atarodo.
Atarodo, yeah.
Atarodo, you know what I'm saying? I did my ancestry. I'm like 50% Nigerian, you know what I'm saying? I had a feeling though, because my grandmother looks Nigerian, so God bless her.
Really?
Yeah, no, 100%. You know, so
that means you
we
need to
might
come.
Yeah, no, that's why we gotta go back to the motherland.
Yep.
Also, when it comes to this, then if you could only date one man from one country in Africa for the rest of your life, what would be that country?
As much as I say I just like
We're so bad, right?
Got you there.
but
Nigeria.
don't tell them, just keep it between us.
Okay. We
I
won't
like
talk.
pepper, that's why I like
Okay.
Where's the applause button?
Which was the applause button?
What's the applause button? I need the applause.
I don't even know. I think it's
No. It might work. No,
second
that's
left, right below that one. There we go. Applause button. You know, and again, speaking of exes, right? You have a very viral moment that you spoke about. That I always wanted to speak to you if the day came, and it's today because of the fact of the cultural difference. Because of this, right? There was a viral story where you detailed an unnamed ex-boyfriend that got you in a situation that ended up basically robbing you, right? And there's a lot of famous stories out here in America of women setting men up, strippers robbing men, pimps, prostitutes, a lot of crazy, wild stories where we see this. But in your situation, right, it was a man setting you up and robbing you. Can you detail for the people in America, the American audience, kind of breaking down that story that allegedly happened, and we don't know who it was, right? We won't name that person.
Honestly, I even hate talking about this story because it's very traumatic and I don't want to, relive that necessarily. But yeah, like you said, it happened, and I feel like it made me a lot tougher, a lot stronger. And it is what it is, and I've moved on from it, and I just don't want to dwell on it.
Yeah. And then you think that it's affected maybe after how you deal maybe with the men?
100%.
You trust men less now?
110%, 110%, because it's scary when someone that you genuinely show so much love, and you literally
100%.
the person you're laying next to does something like that to you.
Yes.
And that's one of the things. Like, I really didn't say a lot of stuff that happened. So there was so many other
you
stuff
kept it
that
pretty
came
vague.
out. Yeah. There was a lot of stuff that came out after that situation.
Yeah.
And I was just like, damn, do I even know your real name? Like, who the fuck are you? So it just makes you question everything. And if my guard was here before, like, now it's like, over
higher.
my head. Like,
Yes.
yeah, I don't trust. It's very hard for me to trust.
Wow.
Like now, because I feel like one of my biggest red flags was thinking that people would have the same heart as me, like have the same. I'm a very genuine person. I'm very black and white. If I'm angry, I'm angry. If I'm happy, I'm happy. If I like you, I like you. If I don't like you, I don't like you.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pretend. I don't know how to be an opportunist. I don't know how to pretend to people to get stuff from them.
Yeah.
And I feel like
It's the best way to be.
my naiveness will lead me into situations where I think other people think the same as me and behave the same as me, but in reality they don't. So in that situation, that was someone that was literally being strategic when I'm being genuine with the person. So that was what it was.
No, that's horrible. That's horrible. I'm sorry you had to go through that.
Thank you.
But I do think that fortunately and hopefully it definitely is going to make you the strongest person you will ever be when you go through some crazy shit like that, because that's you know,
it made me so much wiser and so much more I can spot bullshit from a mile away now. Like I just used to be so naive, like, oh yeah, everybody's lovely, everybody's nice, and everybody has a great heart, and I just really I can call bullshit from a mile away.
No, that's God bless. But you right now, right, you're a walking business. You're very beautiful, and you generate money every day. You know, what would you say is the craziest thing that a man has ever gifted you? It doesn't have to be someone you're dating, but I would imagine you get, if you have a P.O. box, I'm not sure if you do or if you ever...
my P.O. box is 5139. No, I'm joking.
But I would imagine it gets flooded with gifts, or even just in person. What's been the craziest gift you've received from a man that's trying to win you over, your attention? That you can share. And it might be, you know what I'm saying?
The craziest, like a Birkin.
A Birkin bag?
Yeah, well, like a Kelly, a mini Kelly.
It was a Kelly.
A mini Kelly. So like this is a Kelly. So it's like Birkin family. Hermes, like they're expensive.
So what's the rate around
retail?
A lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that's probably like the. But I mean, if you want to be at me a house, a car, I'm available.
So no house or cars yet?
No houses or cars yet.
That's shocking.
But to be honest, like I don't know if I would. I mean, I would want someone like my husband to give me that. I wouldn't want someone that's just like
trying to court you.
Yeah, because then they would just be like, "Oh yeah, you don't want me? Give me back my shit." I'm like, no.
Or they'll brag about it afterwards.
Yeah, and I
you
don't
know
like
the
that.
fact that I got this from her, and you made a post at the top of the year where you said, "I know it might look like I'm not, but I'm actually so ready to settle down. I'm just living my best life till I meet the right one." Right? Is this currently still the state of mind? You know, because you're so successful, right, and beautiful again. So it's like people always wonder, oh, why is she, single? Why is she, aside
Who
from the
said
trauma?
No, just saying.
Okay.
I am, maybe not. I'm checking. I don't know. I gotta see. I gotta see.
Okay. Listen, so if you're out there, that means it's on you now, buddy. You got to claim her. You got to claim her because, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She hasn't done it yet. And speaking of love, do you watch Love Island?
No.
Really?
But I know.
You've never watched Love Island?
No.
And you're from the UK?
I know.
That's bad.
I don't have... I know. People say
That's
this
bad.
to me all the time. They say it to me all the time. I just don't have the time. Like, I just...
Would you ever go on it? Like, are you familiar with what it is?
You go on to date people. Right? I seen the clips. Like, I know the popular clips and stuff. I've just never sat down and said, oh, yeah, I know this person from... Like, I just never...
Would you ever go if you ever had the opportunity?
No, I don't even have the body for it, man. Come on, I got a stomach. They're all like perfect size models.
Oh, you crazy. You're crazy. No, I think you'd fit right in.
Well, would I go on to find love?
Yeah, I feel like you could be a bombshell. I could see you being a bombshell walking in. Bombshell has walked into the island, episode 4, right? And we was Miss DSF. Oh my God.
So
I could just see it.
Yeah.
I could see it. You would shut you down, I feel like.
Do they fight? Like,
No.
If you fight, you get thrown
Fortunately,
out.
but
they
they
don't
just
fight.
talk to each other's man or their girl or
Yeah, you get pulled for
That's
a chat. I feel like you'll be
insane.
pulled for a chat from every guy in there.
You're gonna pull my man for a chat?
They can. That's the
And I'm
unfortunate.
not gonna beat. No, you don't get his hands. No, joking.
But yeah, no, that's crazy. I would have thought you would have said yes. And today
No,
is as the recording date is the season finale of the American one that's been going crazy. You know what I'm saying?
I see a lot of people talk. Maybe I should get into it. Actually,
You're so much better.
Yeah.
no. Okay.
You'll be sucked into it. You might cancel like concerts. It'll be a mess.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people talk about it. Maybe I'll say.
Yeah. What and wrapping up here, what has been the best word of advice you've ever received from anybody throughout your career, and who was that person that gave you that advice, if you don't mind sharing?
Oh, let me think. Let me dig deep. Bovi. He's a Nigerian comedian,
Okay.
actor, like somebody that I met when I first came into the industry, and he told me to never stop trying. Never stop trying, because the only true failure is when you stop trying. So you can get up, you can fail, try, fail. But if you keep trying, you're most likely to get a good result. But if you stop trying, then you just fail. Like
100%.
So that's one of the best advice I've got.
Yes, I agree with that. That's excellent advice. I look by that every single day.
Yeah.
And then what is the best advice you can give to yourself if you can go back in time, let's say to your 15-year-old self, everything you know now, you know what I'm saying? I won't say
Nigerian men. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. My 15-year-old self, I'd say it's gonna be okay. Like, just I feel like I'm such an angry teen, like such
Really?
You
were a bad kid? Would you leave mom's house and run out?
Remember I said I vowed that I'll never go back to Africa again? It's because when I was 14, I got dipped to Nigeria. They told me I was going. Yeah, I'm that kid. Yeah. Wow. They told me I was going on vacation for 2 weeks, and then they took me to a missionary school in Ibadan.
What did you do? What did you do that day?
No, I used to
was there like what was the straw that broke the camel's back? Was that one moment that led to that?
No, I used to fight a lot in school. So my dad raised me, my brother raised me. So like I grew up on like WWE, like wrestling and all that. So like I used to think, DDT, people's elbow, all of that. Like I grew up on that. So I used to enjoy fighting. Like I'll go to school, I'll be like, what did you say? Like I'll be fighting like for fun.
Oh my God.
So I used to get excluded from school. Like I used to anything. If you did anything, I'd be like, what? Yeah.
Who was your favorite wrestler?
Trish Stratus? You a Trish Stratus girl?
No.
Jeff Hardy?
No. No. Oh my God. How can I forget? Aside from The Rock, I really, really had a crush on The Rock.
Okay. Really?
Yes, I loved him. But this guy, oh my, he had blonde hair.
Triple H? No, because she...
Maybe Triple H.
Was it...
Shawn Michaels? Heartbreak Kid, maybe?
The Heartbreaker.
Chris Jericho.
Chris Jericho!
Really? Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
You were a violent child.
Yeah.
That's a violent
But
move.
that's what I grew up. My brother used to practice. Like come on, like
He practiced that one.
Wow.
Yeah, he practiced on me.
He practiced on you?
On me. Like my nose used to bleed steady, daily, like daily.
And if there's for the young ladies watching, right? We're here, small state in the country.
Yeah.
A lot of people always seeking advice, inspiration. What would you tell them out there if they're looking to, right? They're young, aspiring to be a successful DJ, successful actress like yourself, and they came up to you looking for some advice. What would you tell them?
Know your talent, like know what you're doing, practice what you're doing, perfect what you're doing, and then use the tools that you have. Like there's so much like social media, like I think now is easier to blow because like there's TikTok, Instagram, all these Twitch. There's like you just have to put yourself out there. Someone will see it, and just be good at what you do. Just practice and push yourself and practice your craft every single day. Like if you're an actor, like learn a script, do a monologue, record it, put it out. Yeah. If you're a DJ, download music, download Serato, put in your cue points, practice, put out short mixes. There's so much like social media. I think that's where I'm slacking because when I became popular, you didn't have to put out social, like I got popular from TV. Yeah. So it wasn't like I had to post my monologue and So like now it's like I'm working backwards. I'm like, oh crap, I have to post content. Like I have to post that I'm in America, like, Yeah. So I feel like now it's easier to get noticed.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. As long as you have the talent, just make sure you're good at what you do. Yeah. Practice what you do, believe in what you do, enjoy what you do, have fun with it.
Listen, that's a she just did a mic drop real quick. Any last thoughts or questions, Noel Wongo, real quick? That comes to mind.
Speak now or forever hold your peace.
You know what I'm saying? This might be our only ever encounter with this woman. She might, you know what I'm saying,
I might turn into Beyonce tomorrow. You never know.
I'm crying. One question I did want to ask is, what would you say, especially as like a DJ, you have a lot of experience, just experiencing the different scenes and how people interact. What's the biggest difference to you between like the American scene, especially with their interactions with Afrobeats, versus the UK scene?
I feel like African communities across the world are pretty similar. So like as far as like it's an African scene, they're pretty cross, like they're pretty similar. The only cultural difference I would say, like particularly over here, is like like in the UK, we play American music, UK music, African music, Dominican music. Like we play different. I feel like here, especially like when it's not an African scene, like when I go to like Black American clubs, they just want to hear Black American music. Like it's just, and it's just like there's no diversity. There's no but if it's playing in the African scene, I feel like the African scene is like they know all the popping songs. They're like very, they know everything.
Yeah. I want to book you for my wedding. What's the rate? for DJ.
That's his job. They cost a little bag, a little Kelly.
Okay. Look. Okay. Listen, we'll make it work. You know, we can maybe go to New York, get a dupe. It's gonna be close enough.
For
a fake canal, you know, Canal Street. You know,
what's Canal Street?
Just don't
Nigerian
buy
market.
from there.
Oh, okay.
It's like the market you go.
Like Balogun
They got the
Market.
LV's bag on the store.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, there's a street, like a popular
like a
street.
street,
Yeah.
Every designer.
Oh, wow.
I could find a Kelly bag for $10. You know, I'll make it work. We'll make it work.
Designer.
But listen, we love what you're doing.
Thank
We're
you so
fans of you.
much.
You have a support forever. You're more than welcome. Open doors here in Rhode Island, no matter
Thank
what. You know what I'm
you.
saying?
I'll be
Even
back.
if it's just stop by, if you have a show in the future in Massachusetts, New York, we're right here. So
Got
you
it.
can stop by with us. We'll give you a tour. Again, show you some real deal Dominican food. You gotta taste that.
I
You know,
do.
for at
I
least
do.
once in your lifetime.
I do.
But round of applause again for the iconic, you know, woman that's taking over the world right here, Miss DSF.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. Get me lit. This is fun.
All right, you guys, so we're doing a commercial break now so you can hear a word from our sponsor. We have Jalen here from Mother Earth Wellness, the biggest dispensary in Rhode Island. Now, Jalen, you have a surprise for us this week. Do you mind telling the audience a little bit about it?
Yeah, I do. Thank you for having me on.
No, of course. Thank you for coming.
So we have our Arctic Gummies Pheno Hunt happening right now. It just recently launched. In this, there are 5 2-gram samples of flour.
Okay.
So it's 10 grams total. And basically, the public is picking the winner. So you buy the kit, you try all of the strains, and then at the end, you scan this QR code right here at the bottom of the box. And that takes you to a survey where you can submit which strain you thought was the best in an overall smoke, taste, and all the different criteria. So these Pheno Hunts are really fun for the public to get a chance to choose which strain we get to keep on our menu and which strains they get to pick. Because they are, at the end of the day, the ones who shop with us and smoke. So it's a really fun way for us to engage with them and them to engage with us. So Arctic Gummies just came out. It is available now in-store, in the drive-thru, or via delivery. And then for January, come Pink Warheads. So this is another brand new strain.
Okay.
This is just being released now. First time it's going live is on the
Wow.
podcast
Pink
tonight.
Warhead.
So Pink Warheads is just like how Arctic Gummies is. So you try all 5 strains, 2 grams each, and then you submit that survey result at the bottom, and we pick the winner. So
And you said that's start in January, correct?
yes. So Pink Warheads drops in January. Arctic Gummies is available right now.
Okay.
So this one you can come and pick up. It looks great underneath the Christmas tree, but it is available right now.
Okay, so you've brought a lot of great stuff here. Always an amazing packaging, by the way. I'm very impressed with the packaging. It's great marketing.
Presentation is great, bro.
It's always amazing. It's very beautiful. So, but my question to you is, for the people watching, because obviously you've brought a bunch of strands, can't remember half of them, but they all smell great, look great. What makes this different? Is this new strands that you're bringing in to the
Yeah.
store? Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
so we've never had Arctic Gummies before. Our head cultivator will pick a new strain and grow a bunch of different phenos to figure out which one works best with our grow and our customer base and which ones we like to smoke the best. And so these are the top 5 out of all those phenos that they have gotten.
Okay.
And then the public gets to test them out and pick and choose which one they think is the winner.
Okay, so for the fans out there that love their cannabis, this is your opportunity to actually play a role in the type of cannabis that you will be consuming. So take the opportunity, head down to Mother Earth, and purchase, as of now, the Arctic Gummies. In January, you're going to get the opportunity to purchase the
Pink Warheads.
Pink Warheads.
Yeah.
Wow, that's dangerous. That sounds dangerous. That you might, something might happen to you if you use that. I'm going to let you know right now. Nothing dangerous, but something might happen. Last thing is, where can they find you?
So you can find us at 125 Eston Ave. located right in Pawtucket, right off 95. You can shop with us in store, in the drive-thru, or get it delivered right to your door. We also are now delivering to some South County locations like South Kingstown, North Kingstown, and Narragansett.
And what are the Christmas hours for the people wondering? The holidays are coming up. I know hours are different for different businesses.
Yeah, so Christmas Day we're closed.
Okay.
But Christmas Eve we're open from 8 a.m. until 9 p.m. And we're having a really special deal happening on Christmas Eve. So from 8 a.m. until 10 a.m., it's going to be buy one, get one free, all pre-rolls.
Oh, wow.
So that's all Mother Earth pre-rolls, all of our cultivator pre-rolls, everything we have in the building, every pre-roll we have is buy one, get one free. It is limit 2 per customer, but that is a crazy deal we're doing on Christmas Eve. So
Okay. So listen, if you are out there and you take that cousin walk this holiday season, you better get there Christmas Eve and utilize that deal.
Welcome, everybody. This is a special exclusive interview and podcast episode this week here. We have the gentleman that's visiting this studio, in my opinion, one of the most famous people to come out of this state for everything he's accomplished when it comes to Rhode Island. Very significant in the world of giving back to the community, in the world of politics, and all types of things, right? This man, I remember me as a kid, as the mayor when I was a kid, right? I want to say 5 years old when he was first elected here in Providence, Rhode Island. And if you're new here, this is the Club Ambition Podcast. This is a bonus exclusive episode. I'm Victor, the host here. Today I'm going to be the host and editor, coincidentally, because my guy's sick, the usual Noel. Shout out to Noel. He's sick at home. If you've never heard of him, you're going to know a lot about him right now. We have Mr. David Cicilline in the building. Born and raised in Providence?
Yes, born in South Providence, grew up part of my life in South Providence, the other part in Silver Lake, and then my family moved to Narragansett, and now I live back in Providence.
Wow. And so talk to the people, looking back, what would you say some of the biggest differences now, looking at Providence now and you growing up when you were here in the city as a kid?
First, just let me say congratulations on your podcast.
Thank you.
I think it is the most popular podcast in Rhode Island.
Yeah, definitely.
So congratulations to you, and
Appreciate
thanks for
you.
inviting me. I'm happy to be here. Providence is a great city. I loved, I grew up here. I was born here. I lived, also moved to Narragansett when my family moved there for junior high school and high school, and then I came back to Providence for college. And lived there ever since. It's a great city. I think one of the things that I've always loved about this city is that it reflects the incredible, rich diversity of our country. You can come to Providence and you can go to a festival or a celebration of a community almost every week, whether it's, the Dominican festival, the Puerto Rican festival, or the Portuguese feast, or an Italian feast. There's just
Always
so much
something.
celebration of food and community, and it's a great city. I've loved living here. I can't imagine living anywhere else.
And so when you went to school here, you went to Narragansett High School?
Narragansett High School.
Narragansett High School.
First graduating class of Narragansett High School.
Wow, first graduating class of Narragansett High School. So what was Narragansett High School like?
It was I think there were only like 125 kids in my graduating class. So it was a pretty small school. Kids in Narragansett used to go to, I think, South Kingston High School before we had high school. And then Narragansett built one, and we were the first class. It was great. I had a great experience at Narragansett.
Narragansett High School, yeah. I haven't even heard much stories about Narragansett High School, to be honest with you. And so I was doing some research on you. I was like, oh, wow, Narragansett High School. And then from there, you went on to Brown University. What was that decision like? Was there an instant like, okay, I'm gonna do the stereotypical middle school, high school, graduate, go to college? Did you have any aspirations of something outside of school, maybe not going to college at all after high school?
Yeah, I ultimately decided to go to law school, but a career that I really thought about but never actually did was I wanted to be an actor. And actually when I was in law school, I spent my second year after law school. They call it a summer associate. I worked for a big law firm in New York for the summer. But I used to sneak off on Thursday afternoons and take acting lessons at the Uta Hagen Studios in New York, because I really loved acting. I did acting in high school, but I was sort of too much of a chicken. I felt like I needed to have a job where I could earn a living. And I knew all these people that were actors that were like waiters and bartenders.
It's not secure.
So I never did it, but I always dreamed about an acting career. And actually, when I became mayor, I did a couple of scenes and stuff that was shot in Providence, and I finally got my SAG card. I think I was the only member of Congress that was a member of the Screen Actors Guild.
That's amazing.
It was fun, but I never pursued that. But I thought about being a lawyer from a young age. My father's a lawyer. I watched lawyers growing up, and I always saw lawyers as people fighting to protect people and to give people who didn't have a lot of power a fair shot. So I was always drawn to law, both civil rights and criminal defense work. So then I went to law school.
Wow. So then was there ever though a moment in that idea of wanting to be an actor of, were your parents maybe saying the same thing? Like, oh, you got to be an attorney, you got to be a lawyer like that? Like, or was it like, hey, if you want, you could try maybe acting this way? Or did you have like any examples of someone near you that can maybe head you in that direction, maybe as a career, as an actor early on?
Yeah, I didn't have any any friends that were actors or professionally, or I didn't really know people in that business. And my parents never discouraged me. I don't know. I mean, they probably would have if I had offered the idea, but I think they probably thought I'd get it out of my system after just doing acting in school.
Yeah.
And I did go to acting class, as I said, even when I was in law school. I always loved it, but I knew it was a really tough career, and I knew, like, if you were going to try to make a living, and it's hard. And I thought being a lawyer felt more comfortable. And as it turned out, it was the right decision for me.
Yeah.
Although do
you have a favorite actor? Maybe someone like you want to aspire to be at that point?
Yeah,
or?
I mean Al Pacino. I think is the person I always thought of as like just one of the greatest actors.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's a legendary. And do you have a favorite movie at that time? Like, what were you going to watch in theaters as a kid?
I don't remember that I had a favorite movie back then, but there's a movie that I continue to always identify as one of my favorite movies called "It's a Beautiful Life." It's about this guy who's in a concentration camp, and he's pretending and explaining the story to his son that it's a fun activity, so his son will really not know the horrors of the Holocaust. And I always loved that movie.
No, that's a classic movie. And going from Brown, you also spent some time at Georgetown University. So what was the decision behind that, going to Brown and then obviously now leaving the state, right, of Rhode Island and going to a university outside of the state?
Yeah, so I went to Georgetown Law School after I graduated from Brown. I thought it would be great to be in D.C. while I was in law school, which it turned out was a really good place to study law. I got to work in a clinic there and do appellate litigation in the Court of Appeals kind of as a young law student. So that was great. It gave me a taste of what it was like to live in D.C. I loved law school, loved my professors. It was a great experience. So studied there. And then I spent a year after law school working for the Public Defender Service in D.C., which is a great office. And for people who might not know, that's an office which represents people who can't afford their own attorneys, and really top quality lawyers in that office. Many of them came from Supreme Court clerkships and really distinguished universities, and they were dedicating their lives to defending people who couldn't afford a lawyer, which was great. And it was a great place to learn about being a trial lawyer and being a defense lawyer. So that was a great experience. But I knew even then I wanted to get into politics. I remember I represented juveniles, and these were kids who lived in some of the worst, poorest conditions I'd ever seen in my life. Parts of D.C. that people who visit D.C. don't see. Yeah. And you think in the nation's capital, we have people. I went to a client's house once, and the window was broken, and the family had taken Scotch tape to tape the window closed and had the gas stove on because the gas had been turned off. The heat had been turned off to heat the house. I mean, this is in America's, the nation's capital.
That's great.
And I realized, although I was having an impact on the kids that I represented, helping them stay out of jail, get back into school, hopefully straighten out their lives, I realized that if I was going to have a bigger impact on a larger set of people, it was by changing the policies and making sure that less kids were born into those conditions. And politics for me was the obvious way to do it. So I came back to Rhode Island and ran for office. I ran for the state senate first. Yeah. Got badly beaten.
Yep. I was reading up on that.
Yeah. I bring it up before you brought it up,
What's that experience like, running for state and and that experience of losing and all that?
It was hard, I'll tell you. Like, I grew up in a family where my parents and my siblings, everyone supported me. Yeah. Lots of great friends, and everyone worked really hard. And I thought I was going to win. Everyone's like, of course, when you campaign, people say, I'm going to vote for you. Turns out not everyone was telling me the truth.
Not everyone shows up in person. Yeah.
And it was a very humbling experience for me because I was really, really crushed by it. And I really thought I'm never going to run again. Like, this was horrible. But sure enough, 2 years later, there was an open seat in the House of Representatives, and I ran again. That time I won. And it definitely made me a better candidate. I learned a lot from that first campaign. It was the first campaign I'd ever run. But I will say it was the last campaign I ever lost, the first and only. And then I ran for the state representative seat and served 8 years in the House, then went on to run for mayor, serve 8 years, and then 12 years in Congress.
So what made you, right? Like this is a moment that can make and break a lot of people, especially in the political career, where you're going through a moment of running for something as significant as state senate for your state, and this is in the 90s, right? 92, 6 years before I was born, right? But this was.
Oh, you got to just keep rubbing that.
I'm just. It's crazy, man. You're part of a lot of history. Like you were doing stuff, before I was even thought of by my parents. So it's you've done a lot of legendary things. And this moment, right, you ran, you lost, you decided not to quit. Like, oh, okay, I'm going to still stay in politics. A lot of people make or break. It's okay, I'm going to give it one shot. Doesn't happen. There's no future in this. You followed your gut. You came through and you ran again. And then you ended up winning. And like you said, after that, you never lost again when it came to in the world of politics. What was that moment, though? Bring us back to that moment. Was there, like, frustrating nights like that? Like, oh, I'm done with this? Like, was there someone that encouraged you and made you, like, just give it another shot?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, I do just remember feeling really crushed by it. It's hard to explain because when you run for office, it's a very personal thing. You're basically going to people door to door and saying, like, I want to represent you.
Yeah.
I want to serve this community. Here's why I think I'd be good at the job. And they're like, no. And then you think, but I worked hard. I shared my ideas. Why didn't they like me? Why didn't they vote for me? Because, in the end, you're voting for people, no matter what people say, you're voting for people that you trust and you like. It's just, and so you can't do anything but interpret that as a personal rejection. It just is.
Yeah.
And then you either say, like, you live with that, or you say, look, I've got to work harder to get more people to understand what I believe I can contribute and something about my character and my ideas and my commitment to public service. And you just got to go at it again. But you're right. There are a lot of people, they run. It's a very personal defeat. And they don't run again. And it's not for everybody. I mean, politics, especially today, it's not for everybody. You have to have thick skin.
Yep, exactly.
And I'm glad I did it because I will say, in all the jobs I had in the state legislature, serving as mayor of Providence, being a member of Congress, those were jobs that I loved every single day of that work in the same way I love my current job. And that's such a luxury. Most people get up and they go to work and they have to provide for their family and they do a job that they're, content to do, but they don't love it because it's just, a luxury. I'm really blessed that I've gotten to work for my whole life and loved every job I ever had, which is such a blessing. And I'm so grateful for that.
No, it's amazing. And then going forward to what I remember you as a child, right? The Providence mayor, right? The Providence mayor, 2002. What made you jump to that decision? Like, all right, let me go straight to mayor. You could do, pretty much anything you really wanted in your life at that point. And in the political world, in the state, you have a lot of options, but specifically choosing to run for the mayor of Providence. What did you see in Providence that you felt like, I need to run? I feel like I could be the leader of the city. And after that, we'll get to it. But you ran again after But what was that moment like? What did you see like that made you like, okay, I got to be the mayor of the city?
Yeah, I mean, you weren't born yet. I think probably right.
No. Well, no, I was 1998. I'm a 98 baby. 98 baby.
So there was a person who had been mayor for a very long time in this city, and it was widely known that this was a very corrupt individual, and everyone was complaining about the corruption in city government. We were a city that was losing investment. Jobs weren't being created because people didn't have confidence that they could do business in the city of Providence and be treated honestly and fairly. And everyone was grumbling about it. And I finally said, look, like, if everyone is complaining about us needing new leadership in the city, somebody needs to run and offer the leadership. We can't just all be complaining about it. And this was a mayor who had been in office for 28 years or something, like, everyone thought would be completely impossible to defeat. And so I announced my candidacy. I did it at the Webster Avenue School where I went to middle school, elementary school rather. And I remember people thinking, is he out of his mind? There is no way. And, I ran for a couple of months against the incumbent mayor, and then he was convicted in federal court of corruption charges, dropped out of the race. And the day he dropped out, 21 people entered the race.
Wow.
But I basically made the argument, look, to the residents of Providence, not vote for me because I was in the race first, but people were seeing this as a political opportunity when he was out of the race, and they were all jumping in. But I offered myself when we needed new leadership and basically picked me because I was first. But the argument was I didn't wait for a political opportunity. I took him on.
Yeah.
And it turned out to work because I won in a 4-way primary, and
you did.
The rest is history. But Providence needed new leadership. It was a great city with great people, great neighborhoods, but it didn't have great leadership in City Hall. And I ran, and I built a coalition that I think a lot of people have tried to replicate. It was the east side of Providence where I lived and the south side of the city where I had deep, long-standing friendships. And it was this coalition that we built that was really impossible to defeat. The energy and the enthusiasm and the organizing on the south side, and then a lot of voting on the east side, which is traditional. And it was a really strong coalition that brought me to victory.
No, yeah. And at that time, right, we've had shout out to Jorge Lorza, who came through and spoke about his time against Cianci and everything that he's experienced, Buddy Cianci. And, with him, he got raw. He was like, listen, man, like there was like a point where he had like damn near like I think it was like a rock thrown at his car. Like the day he won the election, he had like a lot of sketchy moments that he experienced. What was there moments of you where, it was something that felt to a lot of people like, I'm not doing this. Like, this is like taboo. Like, I'm not going to do this. But you actually went against, such a powerful, has a high notoriety in every level, right?
Yeah, I mean,
and what made you like, okay, I'm gonna do this? But then, like, were you ever like scared? Like, what made you?
Yeah, I mean, I've never been a kind of person who was afraid. I just it's not in my DNA. So there were a lot of people who were really anxious about it. I was never worried in fear in any way. But I will tell you, there were examples of people. Like I remember one of my early fundraisers. Cianci sent people to like get the license plates of the cars, and a guy who was at my fundraiser got a phone call from him the next day and said, "Oh, you were at Cicilline's fundraiser last night. Doesn't your sister work at the Providence School Department?" That's not very smart. I mean, it's kind of intimidation. So I always consider the people who supported me early in that race when Cianci was my opponent to be particularly courageous because they were willing to stand up. They knew the city needed new leadership, and they were willing to stand up to someone who wasn't afraid to use his power to hurt them. And I'm always going to be grateful for those folks.
No, I commend you for that, man. I commend you. It takes a lot of, whether someone was a fan of yours or not, I would say like in the political world, trying to do something that you did alone, just trying that, like, trying to go up against this, it's a powerful thing. But then to go and then winning back to back, like that's insane. And to talk about that feeling, like the decision of like, okay, I went through this, I'm gonna do it again. Like, what made you want to run again?
I would say first, before I get to that, I'll say the night of the election, my first term, I will say that stands out and will remain one of the most exciting, the happiest moments of my life is when I went into Roger Williams Park and we had a song, a bachata, a merengue song made for the campaign that was great. But to see the community that was in Roger Williams Park to celebrate that night, because we were running against, someone who had been the mayor before. People expected he would win again. And this was a campaign really powered by the community, very grassroots. Our headquarters is in the South Side. And to see like we won, like against all odds, and to see like the joy and excitement of people who worked. I mean, I had volunteers who worked literally full time from 8 a.m. till 9 p.m, knocking on doors, putting up signs. I mean, it was just amazing. And just, it was, I think, so unpredicted. We were not predicted to win. We were the underdog by everyone's account. And that was a great night. Anyway, I ran again because I knew, I really saw we had more work to do. But it confirmed what I always believe, that city government is, when it's done well and done right, has the greatest ability to impact people's lives. The things that people care the most about, the quality of their kids' school, the cleanliness of their park, the safety of their neighborhood. The city government is responsible for that. So in terms of having an impact on people's lives, there's no better place to do it in politics, I think, than at the local level in the mayor's office.
No, I would agree. At the local level, there's so much that, a lot of times feels more important and more significant than on a national level when it comes to actually impacting day-to-day change in a community directly. Like a week-to-week change is more instantly than anything. And do you remember the amount of votes that you received? If you want water, there's water also outside the table. If he wants to grab it for you real quick. Grab him a bottle of water, please.
Thanks.
There should be 3 right there.
I don't remember. No, I don't remember.
Do you remember the number of votes that you received for the first time that you won?
I believe it was 83%.
Okay.
I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was 83 because I remember my mother saying something like, "Who are those 17% who didn't vote for you?" And I'm like, "Mom, 83 is okay."
And do you know how many votes in total? Because I think I want to correct. I'll be corrected if I'm wrong. But off the top of my head, I remember David Morales telling me recently that I think Smiley won. I think with 14,000 votes. But I think that's the number of votes or the average of votes right now for like a mayor to win. Do you remember the amount in total or no? No,
I don't. But that sounds like it's probably in that neighborhood.
It's probably in that same neighborhood, yeah. And especially now, looking back at it, when you look up your name, you are a part of just history when it comes to just who you are and being who you are, representing who you are, right? In 2003, you became, officially after becoming the mayor of Providence, Rhode Island, you were known now as the first openly gay mayor of a U.S. state capital. Take us to that moment and what that meant to you, because no matter what, when you look up your name in history, you are a part of history.
Yeah.
You are a part of history just for being who you are. Talk to the people about that moment and obviously accomplishing that, because was it something that prior to you becoming, you knew like, oh, if I win, I am also going to be this, now forever?
Well, actually, it was before I ran for mayor, I had considered running for Congress before running for mayor. And Charlie Bax did an article, a profile of me. And at the end of the profile, he said, "Can I ask you a question?" And I said, "Sure." He said, "Are you gay?" And I said, "Yes." Long story short, the Providence Journal would not publish that. Now, that was back in, the late 90s or early 90s. Back then it was like, they just wouldn't publish it. And so I wanted it to be included in the article because back then it was not clear, could someone who was openly gay be elected to Congress or now elected to mayor?
Yeah.
And so I kind of wanted it out there officially in print. Because if it was going to mean that I couldn't run successfully, I'd rather know now than get in a long campaign, raise all this money, and then. So I was anxious to get it out there. You know?
Yeah.
But the Journal wouldn't do, and I had a big fight with the Journal, and they said, "Are you asking us to include it?" I said, "I'm not asking you to include it. I'm Italian or I'm Jewish. It's an article." But he asked me a question, I answered it, and I got into kind of an ugly fight. But they have eventually said, just respect the journalist, print the story the way he wrote it, and they ultimately did.
Yeah.
And so when I ran for mayor, I was already out as an openly gay person, and it came up at the campaign a few times. I'm really proud of the Providence voters because they were focused on my campaign issues and the things I was going to do for the city, and it was irrelevant. But some of my opponents tried to use it back then in a way to try to prevent me from winning. It didn't work because voters really made judgments based on my experience and my integrity and my vision for the city and didn't care one bit about my sexual orientation. So,
and this was, so they would try to, so some of the people running against you would try to use this against you, right? Was there an example you can share maybe during that time that just you can recall, maybe the craziest one, let's say?
Well, I mean,
the
there
most
were
fucked up one.
Yeah, there were some of them that were pretty fucked up. So I think there was a belief in, particularly in the Italian neighborhoods, that if they knew I was gay, they would be less inclined to vote for me. And so one of my opponents, I think, wanted to raise the issue, but he knew he couldn't say, "Don't vote for David Cicilline because he's gay," because that
homophobic.
wouldn't work even back then.
Yeah.
So he ended up organizing these 3 guys who are gay who created an organization called Voices for Equality at 10 o'clock in the morning. And at noon, they did a press conference and they endorsed him. And so it was Voices for Equality, LGBT doesn't endorse the gay candidate for mayor. So it was kind of a clever way to raise it.
My God.
It didn't work. I mean,
That's
I
crazy.
won in those neighborhoods anyway, but it was a way to try to raise it. And then, there was another opponent who did a leafleting at some churches about my being gay on the windshields of cars and stuff. So, but the good news is, it didn't work. The voters of Providence made judgments based on who they thought was going to fix the city and move the city forward, and it didn't work. And I don't know today that anyone would even try that, but back then it was a different time.
No, I mean, in a full circle moment, I mean, we still, to this day, now we have Brett Smiley, another openly gay mayor in Providence. So it's like, it never should matter, and never, in my opinion, like why? Why does it matter? But people will, when it comes down historically, like you were the first, one in that specifically, of a U.S. State capitol. So I always wanted to ask you that personally. I'm like, I always wondered, and also, if you don't mind, what were some of to just have people realize, if you went through some dramatic or like the craziest even moments of homophobia while you were the mayor of Providence? Was there like, even again when you ran again, something else that someone else tried to do? Like, what was there?
Yeah, I mean, there were examples, not lots of them, because I had great security detail, and I think people knew don't do anything too crazy.
Yeah, don't step to them.
Great police officers, but you occasionally get people to yell something at you or write in a letter to you, some homophobic stuff. But there were other examples. I remember he's now passed away, but he was a wonderful guy. Came to my headquarters. His name was Charlie Fitzgerald, and he said, "Can I talk to you? I'd like to volunteer on your campaign, and I've heard really good things about you, and I think you'd be great for the city. But I'd like to know, do you have a gay agenda?" And I said, "Mr. Fitzgerald, I do." And his eyes I said, "You should sit down." I said, "Look, I want to improve the quality of the schools and make our neighborhoods safe and bring new investment to the city. I want the same thing that everyone else wants." And he's like, "That's what I told my wife. It's like when John Kennedy got elected president, they all said that the Vatican was controlled. Look how great he turned out to be." And Charlie Fitzgerald turned out to be one of the best volunteers and a great friend to me in that campaign. So I will say one thing: when members of the LGBTQ community run for office, it causes a lot of conversations in the community about what that means and who they are and how people can serve. And I would never suggest people from the community should run just to educate people. But I guarantee you lots of people had conversations in their homes during the course of that campaign that they otherwise would not have had about the LGBTQ community, because I was running as an openly gay candidate. So we've made a lot of progress. I mean, Providence is a great city. Rhode Island is a great state. And we've made a lot of progress in the country. But back then it was a little bit less known if you could actually win. There were very few openly gay elected officials in a public office, and that thankfully has really changed. And the reason it matters for every community, for the African American community, the Latino community, is representation matters. It matters when you're in the room. I always say, if you're not in the room at the table, you're on the menu. And it's true. Like, it's harder for people to do things that harm your community if you're in the conversation and there to protest against it. And so that's why I did it when I was mayor. I've done it in every role I've had. I've made sure that the organizations that I'm a part of, the administrations that I build, reflect the diversity of everybody in the community, because it produces better work, it produces better ideas, it produces better outcomes, and it has to reflect everyone that we serve. And so it matters a lot that we have representation everywhere in government of all the communities that represent this state and this city.
No, I love that. I do love and agree with that idea where it has to be, we are reflective of the people, right? If you're political, if you are famous, everyone that becomes of that level of public notoriety, and you're getting interviewed, and people start seeing themselves and relating to you. So you forever will be relatable to that community no matter what, because you are part of that community. And then going forward now, like I said, we have currently a gay mayor here in Providence, and he's gonna be stopping by soon. Shout out to Smiley's team as well within the next month or so. But yeah, thank you for being vulnerable and even just talking about that moment, because I actually got like some goosebumps, because I was I'm very much of like a Rhode Island history buff, especially in the past recent years when I look back at stuff. And I remember seeing that clip of you with the Projo and the Journal, the whole story with the Journal, and you were being interviewed and how passionate you were about that time and everything. I was like, damn, that was crazy how like he went through this, and it was pretty fucked up. It seemed so simple to just of a way to resolve it, but then it became too complicated. So thank you for reflecting on that moment, because I always wanted to hear you speak about that. But then now, what would you say was the biggest challenge that you ever faced while you were the mayor of Providence for those 2 terms here?
We had huge financial challenges in the city. We lived through a recession and through a Republican governor who made a lot of cuts to the city of Providence. So we had some big financial challenges. When I took over the mayor's office, one of the biggest challenges we faced was the city crime rate was on the rise. The community was really at war with the police department, or the police department was at war with the community, I should say. There was evidence that people had been promoted as a result of a testing scandal where they got the answers to tests. So there's a lot of kind of demoralized police officers, good police officers who saw people get promoted ahead of them because they had some political connection. And so we had this combination of increasing crime, really demoralized police department, and the community really at war with the police. And I would say that area is one of the areas that I'm most proud of. I brought in a new police chief. We really reformed the way we hired and promoted police, merit-based hiring, testing for promotions, diversified the police department, and had the lowest crime rate in 50 years at the end of it. Because the community worked in partnership with the police. We opened 9 community substations. Officers were walking beats again, and officers were on the YMCA board and the Housing Authority board, and they were part of the community.
Yeah. As they should be, yeah.
And as they should be. And I think the progress of the department has just continued since then. So I think that was great. And then the other thing that was a big challenge, and I heard about it a lot when I campaigned, was that there was not a lot of activities for kids to do after school. And so I committed when I ran for mayor that we would create some opportunities for kids, particularly middle school kids, and after school. And we ultimately created the Providence After School Alliance. It just so happened the Wallace Foundation was looking for a city to do this and gave us $5 million to start that, and that lives today. PASA.
PASA,
those
PASA.
are 2 things I'm most proud of.
That was very. Shout out to PASA, man. PASA is I know kids in PASA. That's very significant to the students here in Rhode Island. Thank you for that. And that during that time, would you say that you had obviously you ran twice, that you could win? Was there a moment of like you want to do something else within the state? Like, what made you jump and go straight to like, okay, let's go to the U.S. House of Representatives instead of trying to maybe, do some work like you are doing now right here in the state of the Rhode Island Foundation? But what was the mindset back then at that time, going from mayor here in Providence, 2 terms, successful, loved by the people, but now going to a bigger stage now?
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't really planned on it, but I was finishing my 2nd term as mayor, and one of my frustrations during all the 8 years I was in office was I didn't feel like the federal government understood what cities needed to be successful and how to be good partners. And I think it was a frustration of mayors all across the country.
Yeah.
Probably still is.
Yeah.
I was very active in the U.S. Conference of Mayors, and I it was just frustrating because I kept thinking there were ways the federal government could really work more closely with cities and mayors. Cities are where things happen, where innovation occurs, and Congressman Kennedy kind of surprisingly announced that he was going to not run for re-election. And so I immediately thought, like, it would be great if I could go to Washington, take this 8 years of experience, and get the federal government to understand what cities need to be successful, because if I could do that, it would make a difference. And so I ran for Congress and served 12 terms. 12 years, 6 terms. And what I didn't sort of carefully think about is when I got to Washington, we were in the minority. And I was one of only 9 Democrats that got elected that year, 9 new Democrats. And I remember we called ourselves the Noble 9. But we sat there in our first meeting, and like everyone was getting up who had been defeated and was kind of delivering their speeches in the Democratic caucus. It was like, oh my God. And they were crying. I'm like looking at each other like, what did we get ourselves into? And I realized, like, I'm from Rhode Island, where the Democrats are in the majority in both the House and the Senate. So to get to Washington and be in the minority, where the minority in the House has like really no power, it's really challenging. But we eventually got the House back, and that changed. But I loved it. It was a great experience, and I'm so grateful that Rhode Islanders in the 1st district sent me to Washington to represent them. I consider it one of the greatest privileges of my life, and really had every intention of staying there, and then was presented with an opportunity to go to the Rhode Island Foundation. And I had worked with the Rhode Island Foundation when I was as mayor, even in the state legislature, certainly as a member of Congress.
Yeah.
I knew what the Rhode Island Foundation did, and I knew the impact it was having. And I became convinced that I could actually have more of an impact on the state that I loved by leading the Rhode Island Foundation than I could being in the House in the minority. And so I accepted the position. I came back to Rhode Island, and I get to be back in the state that I love, serving the whole state. And I've really seen in my first 2 years at the Rhode Island Foundation the difference that this foundation makes in our state. And it's a lot like being married. You can kind of see the impact of the work up close, which is great. Sometimes when you're in Congress, you're working and things are so distant. You work on a bill, and then 5 years later, it's you see the impact. This is much more like the mayor's office, where you can see a grant goes out, you can go visit the place and see the stuff at work. So it's great. The Rhode Island Foundation is the second oldest community foundation in the country. We're 109 years old, and we have been committed to doing everything we can to help Rhode Islanders thrive. And we work in education and healthcare and economic opportunity, housing, climate, and now civic and cultural health. So we work on all the issues that matter in communities. Due to the incredible generosity of Rhode Islanders, we've been able to provide a lot of financial support. We're the largest funder of nonprofits in the state. Last year, we gave almost $90 million out in grants.
Wow.
But that's only part of what we do. We also do what I refer to as civic leadership. We led the campaign to pass the housing bond, which brought $120 million of state resources to produce affordable housing. We're concluding some work on the Blue Ribbon Commission to establish a new school funding formula for the state. So the Rhode Island Foundation is engaged in all of the issues that matter in Rhode Island, and it's an incredible privilege to be leading this organization and to work every day to make lives better here in Rhode Island.
No, yeah, that's a big step, right? 2023, you do that moment of resigning from Congress. You announce that, right? It officially happens that year, and then you become now the official president and CEO of the Rhode Island Foundation. Do you see yourself ever now going back into the world of politics or anything of that level, or are you going to stay now here in this world of the Rhode Island Foundation, stay local again, stay here in Rhode Island? Like, are we going to lose you again? Like, what's going to happen?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I love leading the Rhode Island Foundation, and my goal is to grow the Rhode Island Foundation so we can have even more impact and accelerate the progress on all the issues that we're working on. We launched a 5-year action plan, and that was a result of spending 18 months really listening to Rhode Islanders all across the state. Over 2,000 Rhode Islanders participated in sharing their ideas about, what should we focus on? Because I didn't want it to be like what I thought was important, or even the great staff at the Rhode Island Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be sure that our work plan reflected what Rhode Islanders saw as both the greatest opportunities and the greatest challenges. And so we developed a 5-year action plan, and now we're executing that. And so I want to stay leading the foundation and do all we can to make progress on all those 5 areas that we've identified.
So are we currently in year 1 of the action plan right now? Currently right now?
Yes.
Okay, year 1. And what are some of the stuff that you've done already in year 1 that you could share?
So the 5-year action plan identifies 5 key priorities. 3 of them are priorities that the Rhode Island Foundation has been involved in for a long time. One is ensuring that young people have access to high-quality public education. 2 is to make sure Rhode Islanders have access to high-quality health care. 3 used to be called economic opportunity. We now call it housing and economic mobility, because housing is such a critical issue, and we want to help people build generational wealth. The 2 newer areas are climate action. Rhode Islanders really said, can the Rhode Island Foundation do more about being sure Rhode Island responds to climate crisis? We're the ocean state. We take a lot of pride in the beauty of our state, And then the new area, which we call civic health, we heard a lot from Rhode Islanders, like, there are so many divisions in our state. Even in a place like Rhode Island, there's a lot of polarization, a lot of division. And people were asking, can Rhode Island, as the Community Foundation, help bring people together to reduce some of the divides, to reconnect people to their neighbors, and build kind of good civic health? So we put civic health and cultural life together, because we support arts and cultural organizations because of the great, having great music and great theater and great arts is part of a wonderful community, but also because they're great opportunities for people from very different backgrounds, with very different political views, to have a shared experience and recognize their common humanity. So we're going to do a lot more work in helping to kind of bring people together and bridge some of the divides. And all of that work is done with a very clear understanding that it includes everyone, that we reflect diverse voices, that it's equitable, that everyone is included, that we reach all Rhode Islanders. In all of those areas, it's essential that we battle against systemic inequities as well. So we're doing grant making in all those areas now. We'll do a report after the first year of kind of what we've done and what we've learned from those early investments. But none of it would be possible without Rhode Islanders who partner with us and do do very generous things by contributing to the Rhode Island Foundation, either to the Fund for Rhode Island or opening their own fund. The great thing about community foundations is however you want to do it, we have a product that you can do it. But community foundations are designed to pool resources together to benefit the greater good and the community. And so I encourage your listeners, if they don't know about the Rhode Island Foundation, check out our website, learn more about it, become part of it. There's no reason that everyone in Rhode Island should be a philanthropist in some way. It means volunteering for an organization, contributing to an organization, doing something for a neighbor, just doing something for the common good makes you a philanthropist.
100%. I feel like, especially when we live in such a small state, the smallest state, it's like if we help each other out, you know, we're all that we got. Like, so the more that we help each other out, the more that we see benefits of that. Shout out to my friend that started the YouTube channel with me, Eric Robles. He's received one of the scholarships at the Rhode Island Foundation. He was there at where I met you recently at the event, the gala.
The barbecue, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's an example. You know, we give almost $4 million a year in scholarships to Rhode Island students, which a lot of people don't even know that. That's so encourage people to go to our website and apply for the scholarships. We have lots of resources to help Rhode Islanders pursue their dreams.
I love it. And it's track 15. Are you guys involved with that? I know it's that has the Rhode Island Foundation location right there. Is that one of your ideas as well?
No, that actually, my predecessor, we sold that first floor of that building to the developers who developed Track 15. So we're co-tenants of the building now.
Okay.
But it's great. I get to go down there for lunch very often, and it's great having them in the building.
I hope they don't charge you for run. You gotta get free.
They do
food.
charge me. No free food. They don't even give me a discount.
Damn. God damn. And when you look back, reflected, right, you've been, you know, a part of a lot of Rhode Island political history. What would you say are, let's say top three mayors in the history of Providence? And would you put yourself in that top three when it comes down to just your opinion, you know, quick thoughts of top three mayors?
Oh yeah, I'm not a politician anymore, but I'm smart enough to know not to answer that question. I hope when history recounts my leadership that they will say that I served honorably, that I did my best, that I did everything I could to improve the lives of the people I served. I think serving in public office is one of the greatest privileges of a life. The idea that people entrust in you the responsibility of making decisions to make their life better is amazing. I mean, I've had the privilege of doing it for almost 30 years, and now I'm doing public service in a different way at the foundation. But elective office is special because people are entrusting a lot of decisions that impact their lives. And, you know, I give a lot of credit to people who run for office and serve. I don't agree with everyone who's in office. And, you know, obviously, that's the nature of it. But you have to appreciate and value people who are willing to serve the community in that way and give them some grace.
Yeah.
And I hope, you know, as people look back on my service, they'll appreciate that I did my best, and I hope I made a difference in their lives.
What are some of your, for those who don't know out there who've never visited Providence, never visited Rhode Island, what's some of the best food spots that you have ever had, you know, whether it was during your time as mayor here in Providence or just in general? What's some of the best food spots, your favorite food spots in Providence?
I've been going to Apollo a little bit. I love that food there. Is great.
I got to try it. I'll keep hearing about it.
Cafe Nuovo, I'm a big fan. I love the old canteen, but of course that's not there anymore.
Yeah.
I'm a big seafood person, so I go to Hemingway some as well.
Okay.
Of course, I own a bar downtown too. So
what's the bar again for those?
Clementine.
Clementine.
We have like light food, fries and charcuterie boards and stuff like that, but cocktails.
Okay. And you know, you're holding up. I see your boots. In my opinion, you've always been one of like the flyest and one of like the dopest. Just subtly best dressed mayors. Maybe just politicians.
Don't tell Brett Smiley that when he gets here.
No, I'm telling you, you have good taste in clothing. Nice. Like you're one of the best dressed mayors in my opinion. Talk about that. Like, do you see like yourself in that world of like actually caring about fashion and, you know, how you dress? Because a lot of people wouldn't, but look at like even in your boots, I think that's very dope, very fire. Like things like that, subtle things like that. I feel like you earned that world. No,
nobody ever called me dope before. I'm going to take a recording of that one. No, I mean I wear boots. You know, it's funny. My father wears cowboy boots. I think I kind of as a kid watched him.
Oh, nice.
And they're comfortable, so I wear them pretty much every day. I'm pretty. You know, I try to always reflect that I'm representing, whether it's the Rhode Island Foundation or representing the city or representing the 1st Congressional District, and try to dress appropriately. I don't always, but I try to get it right most most of the time.
No, if you look at your outfits throughout the years, you have some really dope outfits. Even today, like the jacket you came through with, I was like, oh, this guy again right at it with the nice pieces. And if someone out there was watching and didn't know about the Rhode Island Foundation, why should they care about it? Why should they care about the Rhode Island Foundation and your role currently now? What would be that tagline?
Well, I would say right now, in particularly, with a lot of the cuts that are happening at the federal level, a lot of the organizations that are doing really important work to help Rhode Islanders are suffering budget cuts and budget freezes and reductions in their ability to serve Rhode Islanders. And they're turning to philanthropy and to the Rhode Island Foundation to try to help fill the gap. And we created a new emergency fund to do that. We're providing some resources to help them access legal counsel. We're helping them do some planning. But, the needs are great. And just at the time when some of the needs are going to grow significantly, particularly in food insecurity and healthcare, some of these organizations are facing big challenges. So philanthropy is a way to, the Rhode Island Foundation is responsible for the whole state. It's a community foundation that covers the entire state. So we know the organizations that are doing really impactful work, the ones that are getting the job done. And so, if you want to help your fellow Rhode Islanders, contribute to an organization that you're familiar with, contribute to the fund for Rhode Island at the Rhode Island Foundation so we can do more. We can't. Sometimes you feel like there's not a lot we can do about what's happening in Washington, but what we can do is take care of our own community, take care of Rhode Island. So I keep telling everyone, this is a moment to really, really look inside to say, like, what can we do to protect each other here in our state? And philanthropy and the Rhode Island Foundation is going to continue to play a big role and do all that we can. And because of the generosity of Rhode Islanders, hopefully we're going to be able to do even more. But community foundations, there are 900 community foundations in the country. They're organized to pool resources together to take a responsible portion of what those resources produce in terms of income, and then invest it back to improve the community. So they're collectively doing things that are for the common good. And the Rhode Island Foundation has been doing it for over a century. And I encourage listeners who don't know a lot about us to go to our website, learn more, and become involved in some way. It's an easy way to make a difference in the community, to help make your community better.
No, yeah, I personally would argue that your type of organization, everything you guys are doing, right, a foundation, your work is more significant now in this time, I would say more than ever, because especially locally, because I work with a lot of nonprofits. I do a lot of work with kids, and just in the city, things that people have told me, one of them I won't share. I'm not sure if they might announce it next year, but like I know certain things like GED programs are being cut. So next year here, there's going to be less GED programs, right? That's insane. That's something that we need. People need their education. Doesn't matter if they're not in the traditional sense. If they're still trying to get their GED, why cut the funding for that? And there's now going to be less GED graduates. So there's a lot of stuff happening. So I applaud the work that you all have done. And I see, and people only speak highly about the achievements. So thank you for the work. Thank you for the work. Where do you see yourself now? After you have the 5-year plan, but let's say 10 years from now, where do you see yourself? Do you see yourself still possibly tied to the Rhode Island Foundation, or maybe retired in Miami on a yacht, or what's the future for?
I
Mr.
mean, 10
Cicilline?
years from now, I'll be. I mean, maybe 10 years. I can't imagine I'll be completely retired, but
you've done a lot already. You've done a lot in your life.
Yeah, but I'm not the retired type.
Okay.
I feel like I enjoy working, so I hope I'll be at the Rhode Island Foundation a good long time. All right.
That's good to hear. We're not gonna lose you again to a different state. But listen, any last words you want to tell the people? Especially we have a lot of young.
I want to say thank you to you, because the Rhode Island Foundation, I think a lot of people think about philanthropy and foundations and tend to think about older Rhode Islanders might know more about it or have more of an interest. And I really hope by being on your show, we can excite young people about thinking about the role of philanthropy, about, everyone can do something to contribute to making their community better. So I really appreciate you helping us reach a younger audience, because I think it's really important for people, even at a very young age. And I'm going to make an announcement hopefully next year about something involving young people, and I'll do it here on your podcast.
Okay, we'll do it. You heard it here first. You gotta promise us that one.
Yeah, so I just want to say thank you, because it's important, I think, that everyone in Rhode Island understand that we all need each other.
No, we definitely do. And what would be your answer to people look at Rhode Island, the smallest state in the country, they get discouraged, right? There's like, I can't make it out of here. It's impossible. everyone, is too competitive. We can't. Everyone knows each other. I got to get the hell out of here. What's your response to that mindset? Because that's the mindset that a lot of people here have, especially the young kids I speak to, and it frustrates them to the point that they don't even try to achieve. It's not, doing your dreams is one thing, but they don't even put that effort to even try sometimes because of such a large feeling of discouragement of being from a small state.
I think the truth is, I think it's a really challenging time for young people. I mean, when I think of young people who grew up in the recession, then COVID, then the chaos of our current political environment, there's not a lot for them to be optimistic and hopeful about. I totally get that. But I don't think that's a product of Rhode Island. I think it's unfortunately a product of the circumstances of the world and we're currently living in. But I also see a pattern of a lot of young people who leave Rhode Island and they come back because they realize there's something very special about this place. But I think it's incumbent on the adults and the older folks to become mentors, to reach out to young people, to give them good counsel, to be a resource, to make sure they have opportunities for employment and internships and fellowships so they can experience the kind of the special things about this state. But we have a lot of work to do, but there's no place like Rhode Island. And the more I've traveled around the country and around the world, the more I've come to really love this state.
No, I see that a lot. I know a lot of people, artists, etc., producers, rappers that have left, go to California, and then they end up back here. Yep. And it's like, oh, now you're back. It's like, yeah, because there's nothing like home. That's right. There's no place like home. I always tell people that no matter where I go in the world, people are like, oh, the Rhode Island kid, the Rhode Island podcaster. It's like, yeah, it's like I'd rather be known as that. I'd rather one day they'll know my full name, but at least they tie me to the state.
Absolutely.
Right? So it's like there's no sense of being embarrassed about that. I'm very proud to be from here, the best state in the country, the best city in the world, Providence specifically. So I'm always going to be here and representing here. But listen, appreciate you again.
Thank you for having me.
Any last words? I know you also have your podcast. Shout out to the podcast that you guys do as
R.I,
well.
Yes, thank you. We're going to try maybe co-promote.
Collab? Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. So where can people find the Rhode Island Foundation's podcast?
On all the regular podcast sites, Apple... You know them all.
Yeah. Apple, Spotify. I'm assuming it's got to be on Spotify, right?
It's called Together R.I.
Together R.I.
Yep.
Together R.I. But there we have it. The legendary David Cicilline. Stop it on by.
They gon' love me for my ambition.